Hey guys, welcome to the Field of 68 YouTube channel. If you like what you see here, hit that subscribe button and you'll get more college basketball content just like this. Reed Sheppard tonight, 32 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 11 for 14 from the floor in 35 minutes as Kentucky erased a 13-point second half deficit at Mississippi State with a come from behind 91-89 win. Reed Sheppard had the game winner at the buzzer as it sounded. Well, it wasn't quite at the buzzer. It was 0.5 seconds left on the clock. Just an unbelievable all-around performance where he more or less willed Kentucky to a road win over a tournament-bound Mississippi State team. Randolph, what do you make of Reed Sheppard's performance? What do you make of Kentucky? Is there anything that this Kentucky team cannot do at this point this season?
Listen, I thought it was a hell of a performance tonight. I mean, getting a road win this late in the year, and let's be honest, Mississippi State brought it tonight. They did everything they could to win, and just Reed Sheppard was just the best player on the floor tonight. I hate to say it. I know Josh, Hubert's performance was incredible at 34, but when they needed plays, man, he just put them on their back tonight. And this team is what we talk about all year long. They have so much talent, so many different guys that can hurt you. And tonight it was Reed Shepherd's night, and he delivered. So I thought it was a big test for him. If they had lost, I wouldn't have thought anything different from him. I thought it was going to be a tough environment for them to win, but it shows that maybe Kentucky's figuring this thing out as they get ready for the conference tournament.
Yeah, Tyler, when you see Kentucky make this run and you see them rely on a guy like Reed Sheppard, like how do you view this team when you see guys like this able to put together perform? Like I say, he's not the only guy we've seen take over a game and win a game for them with big runs like this in the second half.
Yeah, and they have multiple weapons. Obviously, they have very talented guys, but Rob Dillingham, he has the capability of taking over a game and scoring and making big shots. But tonight was an unbelievable performance from Reed Sheppard. I thought he really played smart basketball, and also he made defensive plays. The block late in the second half from the corner three, I thought that was an unbelievable play. He played winning basketball. He did everything for Kentucky. And like you said, he was the reason that they won. And also, I think this says a lot for Kentucky, especially for a younger team, to go at Mississippi State in the hump, which is a tough environment to play at, and actually come out for a win. I know Mississippi State was looking for, kind of one of those better wins to help build a resume, but Reed Sheppard is really developing, and he's becoming one of those guys you can really rely on to get you a bucket.
Yeah, it always is funny to me when people call it the hump. It's every time you say it, it makes me laugh. Maybe that's because I have the sense of humor of a 12-year-old child. Randolph, I was having this argument with someone earlier, right? We saw what RJ Davis did last night. We've seen Jamal Shed completely take over basketball games. We know how good Zach Edey is this year. I'm kind of at the point where I don't know if there are 15 players in college basketball that if I'm starting a team from scratch that I would take over Reed Sheppard. I know that there are some flaws defensively. He gets a little bit lost when it comes to help side, but between the effort, the IQ offensively, the things that he's able to do, I don't know if there's 15 players that I would take over him. I think he is that good.
I won't go that far. I think he's good. I think he's really good. I wouldn't push back on it tonight. You sound like the people that were coming at the Tar Heel fans that were saying R.J. Davis is the national player of the year after dropping 42. So no, listen. I think it was a hell of a performance. I do think he's high IQ offensively. There's no flaws in his game on the offensive end of the floor. But before I say, if we're just going to say offensively, probably talent, then I can see him rating him that high. But you got to play on the other end, and he's a freshman, and there's things he's going to obviously improve on. But he's been tonight he was on display, showing everything, making plays defensively. Just high IQ plays, assists, scoring when he needed. He just made plays, defensively and offensively for this team tonight. So credit to him, credit to
Randolph,
Cal.
is he better
He
than
takes
his
so much
dad?
crap.
Is he better than his dad?
I'm gonna give him that. Yeah, yeah. He's better than his dad. He's better than his dad. I'm gonna give him that. He's better than dad. Dad got to bow down now. You got to know when to leave him alone and say, "Yeah, he got me." I think Dad acknowledges now he got him.
Yeah. Here's my take on Kentucky. And like we've talked so much about them on the defensive end of the floor. And I want both of you guys' opinion on this. And Tyler, I'll go to you first on this one. I don't think that they're ever going to be a great defensive team, right? I don't think that they need to be a great defensive team for 40 minutes with what they can do offensively. And tonight, I thought they were terrible on the defensive end for the first probably 25 minutes of this game. They were a mess in the first half, and they gave up 7 points in like the first 2 minutes of the second half before Cal called that timeout and kind of got things settled, right? And then they had a stretch there of probably about a 15-minute window in the middle of the second half where Mississippi State just couldn't get anything going. And I think that that's all Kentucky needs, right? They need to lock in for a 10-minute stretch. They need to find a way to be able to get stops for about 10 minutes, and then you're just not going to be able to keep pace with them because they're putting up 90 on you. Tyler, you were, I mean, we've talked about this before. You were on the, I'm doing air quotes here, the worst defensive team to win a national title in the KenPom era. Does that make sense? Is that something that we can, like, am I even making sense when I kind of make that point?
Well, KenPom never makes sense to me, and I don't think it ever will. And also, KenPom never gives the ACC the credit it deserves. But I will say that I disagree with you, and I think this team needs to buy in defensively because they have the weapons to be a good defensive team. And the only reason that they're not going to be a good defensive team is if they don't want to make that commitment. And to me, I think that's what could really put them in contention for winning a national championship and making a deep tournament run is if they want to commit defensively. They have the tools to score, but also they have the talent and the length and the athleticism to be a very good defensive team. So I think they've got to buy in because sometimes in the NCAA tournament, things can go a little south. Guys aren't hitting shots, and you've got to have a good defensive foundation to really make a tournament run.
Yeah, you can't just win one way. Go ahead, Randolph.
No, I agree. I thought there was a couple of times on that middle ball screen just gave them trouble. And you can tell the bigs were so worried, which was surprising. They were worried about the big and not just stopping the ball. And you can't have a guard just turn the corner and go right down the lane. But credit to those guys. When they got down and needed to make plays, they made plays. I think it's just an attention to detail focus thing when you got so many young guys. And if they dial in, and they've shown they can do it. And credit to them, man. When they needed to dig in and get stops tonight, they did. So that was not an easy game for them. I would, like I said, I thought there was a chance they can get run out of the building at one point, and then they started making stops and making plays, and then Reed, offensively, he just carried them and took them home.
Yeah, it was 17:40 left in the first half. They were down 52-39, and with a minute left in the game, they were up 83-75. They went on a 44-23 surge over that stretch. You know what else is really impressive about this group, Tyler, is that it feels like every couple of games we come up with this idea that, like, this is the lineup that they need to use. This is the guy that they need to use. This is the player that they need to use, right? Sometimes it's Dillingham. Sometimes it's Reed Sheppard. Like, we've seen it with their guards. We know that they have 4 guards that can win a game in the backcourt. After the Auburn game, I mean, it was Agneso, right? Like, he was the guy that played 36 minutes. He was the defensive anchor. He looked really good in ball screen defense. He looked like he had kind of figured it out. He played 12 minutes tonight. Some of that was foul trouble. But Big Z, coming off an 18-point performance in the win over Alabama, finished with what did he have off the bench tonight? He had 2 points, 4 boards, 3 blocks, missed a couple threes, but he was a presence out there. He was the best of the big guys that they had available to him. What does that say about this group that they have? It's not just like one guy that they're relying on, right? They can win with all these different ways, all these different lineups, all these different guys in different positions.
Well, I mean, they're talented, and Cal does. I mean, he recruits well, and a lot of coaches would love to have that talent and that option. But I thought what Big Z did tonight is I think his length, was an issue for Smith, Toulouse Smith, late in the game, and I thought he did a good job defensively on him. Which he is one of the better bigs in the SEC.
There it is.
Mississippi State.
It is. You got to shout out your big guys, Tyler.
Yeah, I do like Smith. I think he's a good player. But I felt like Mississippi State, I didn't think they executed late in the game. And I thought that could have been a little bit of Kentucky's defense. But I thought Big Z got in there. His length provided some problems for them. It's not necessarily that he was doing it offensively, but defensively he was kind of getting after it.
Yeah, Randolph, thank you for watching the Field of 68. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here, hit that like button, share this link with your friends, or check out the description for some other places that you can consume Field of 68 content.